Assassin's Creed Revelations, the name obviously came upon because we decided in this opus of the franchise to actually give the players a lot of the answers that they've been sort of like thirsting for ever since AC2. Like a lot of things were set up with Minerva, with Juno, a lot of details about the sort of the end of the world plot line in 2012. As we're getting closer and closer to the actual 2012 marker, the franchise is also concluding, its major opus. So this game is sort of like where we're setting everything, all the records straight. We're sort of closing all of the loops that have been started, that have been sort of left in suspense, and we're going to reveal not only a lot of stuff about the first Civilization plotline, but we're actually going to conclude the Ezio, the Altair storylines. And we're going to sort of explain why, first of all, why Ezio is such an important character for the franchise, what his actual role is in all of that plotline, what role Altair plays in that destiny, and ultimately what role Desmond plays in all that stuff. So we're sort of creating a nexus, if you will, in our game in Revelations that will sort of align the destinies of all three major characters of the franchise, and sort of like in one fell swoop we're going to sort of reveal a lot of the elements that surround that mystery. The way we've set up the naming convention is that the number simply signifies the character. So Assassin's Creed 1 was about Altair, Assassin's Creed 2 and all the other chapters are about Ezio, and Assassin's Creed 3 will be about another character. So because of the importance that Ezio takes in the whole like overarching storyline, it was always a trilogy, right? So Ezio starts off as just a character that's sort of brought into this world of the assassins versus the Templars because of the death of his family, his father, his brother. So in Assassin's Creed 2 he becomes an assassin. In Brotherhood, he becomes sort of a master assassin, right? He now that like he has another personal vendetta. Now that he must avenge the death of his uncle. So through this entire game, he evolves into the master assassin that we have today. And in Revelations, Ezio becomes a mentor. So he becomes essentially the sort of the highest ranking living assassin of the Order. So this whole character loop, if you will, takes him from apprentice to master to mentor, and it's sort of this elegant loop that it's the cycle of the assassin, right? And by ending on this note, we reveal everything that has to do with the character. We sort of put Altair's life into perspective, and we sort of set the floor for a next assassin who will eventually like sort of start the cycle anew. Assassin's Creed has a tremendous legacy, like past games. We've been just building on top of existing systems, and the game is becoming it's becoming huge on the horizontal, right? So one of the things that we're really focusing on for this game is I thought that we need to start taking all of those different features and creating more links between them. We want to really continue evolving in terms of like new features, but finding really innovative ways of combining them in a way to create a more concise core experience, a stronger sort of core experience. So that's one of the things that I'm really exploring with this game, is how to take all of those existing rich systems, combine them into like creating more links to allow you to take more advantage of the game. Second of all, I think there's definitely quite an improvement that we can do on realization and on actual storytelling within the game. Storytelling is always a bit difficult in open world games. How do we dictate what the player does while giving him the freedom to explore the world and all these fun systems that we have? So one of the challenges that we sort of set to resolve is how to deliver a more intense, cinematic, realized experience while still exploring all the richness of the open world setting, all of those systems, all that stuff. So plus we decided to also challenge what had been established in terms of like purely quality of characters, quality of animation, of performance. We really want to have Revelations just be a huge upgrade on the delivery in terms of realization and intensity. As the game becomes bigger and players get more involved in the game, players want to have a sense that they're progressing, that they're actually evolving and that they're gaining something as they progress through the game. You can obviously do that narratively, you know, like your character can evolve, and, you know, like the story can take the character to new places where you can actually feel that there's a growth there, right? But if you do that only on the narrative side without actually having any impact on the gameplay side, it feels a little shallow, a little empty. So what we do is we actually create all of these things so that you can get a sense of progression through the game, right? Getting a new armor, a stronger armor, will actually keep you interested in the game because you feel that you've earned something and you're actually now using this new element directly in the game, right? You know, narrative is something that is really cool to have, and you should feel a progression, but if that isn't equaled by actually something that means something to the actual action of playing, then it's just a story layer. It's not what I was explaining a bit earlier, when narrative and gameplay need to be sort of imbricked into like one strong element. This is a perfect example. Like, if you want to explain to the player that, you know, like his character has, you know, has become stronger or wiser, and you explain it in the story, why not give him some special weapon that actually makes that more real and actually gives that meaning to the gameplay, right? In terms of systemic elements that we've added, I'm really anxious to see how people you know, react to the Assassin's Dens. I'm really excited about having people actually play the maps with the hook blade, see how navigation patterns change in the game, to see how people will have fun crafting bombs and using them, and how much they will use them to manipulate the game to their own play style. That to me is like, we've started doing some play tests, and it's really interesting to me to see how each individual approaches that differently. I can't wait to see what the actual vibe is from you know, from the community. I also can't wait to actually see the implementation of our new like realization style, like our new you know, like character performances, our new like camera work, our new like linear you know, Holly Wow gameplay moments. You know, right now we do have benchmark tests, but I haven't yet seen the final product, and I can't wait to see what it actually looks and feels like when playing the final product.